against the spread, so I'll back the home dog in this one. All right, we have Ohio State, Michigan coming up. Before that, if you want to get to free plays, or actually if you want to get plays from Jim Feist, you can call 1-855-846-7426. Those are his big plays daily. If you're going to free plays, you can get them on a recorded message on a phone, 1-888-478-9222, or you can get them via text right to your cell phone every day. Just text to 25827, and that's free plays at 25827 right on your screen. Okay, and this big one that's going on this weekend here would be Ohio State and Michigan. We thought this might be a battle of, well, at least one team undefeated until the events of Saturday, which surprised everybody except Michigan State fans. Buckeyes coming in 10-1, but boy, a lot of question marks after the offense was just horrendous at home. Even Urban Meyer admitted that. We lost the battle of the line of scrimmage. They stacked the line, and when we tried to pass the football, we just couldn't do it. Certainly a knock on his quarterbacks. 17-14 they lost as a 13-point favorite. You know, the Columbus Dispatch mentioned that the Buckeyes all season long, their motto was the grind, but they've been playing like a team that was burdened by expectations, and you kind of get the sense that was the case. They were defending champs. They were supposed to run the table, and they've had a lot of clunkers this year, particularly on offense, and it certainly came up to bite them on Saturday. And now you got Ezekiel Elliott spouting off about how he's not going to be back and he didn't like the calls. Well, Ezekiel, if you didn't like the calls, you should have done better than 3.2 yards per carry the few times you did have it. So, Sean, we'll certainly look at matchups and statistics in this one, but you also have to factor in emotion, too. How do you see it?
Yeah. Well, first of all, this is another one of these lower-ranked teams, favored, et cetera, type of thing. I got Michigan ranked at number 12 and Ohio State now ranked number 8. I think they were at number 4 last week. Yeah, Michigan State, actually, the line opened 2.5, went to 1.5, so the early money, whatever's been bet on it, is looking at the dog here. This is an Eastern Division game. It's an early game also. It'll go 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. ABC will cover this game. You know, so Ohio State, of course, they lose to Michigan State. We've talked about that as a home favorite of 13.5, 14. I saw a couple of numbers out there, and a lot of controversy. Now, first of all, you got to look at the context of this. Yeah, Elliott spouted off about how the game plan was lousy. He only carried the ball 12 times. Quarterback Jones said the same thing. He was upset about, the way the game went. First of all, you're talking Urban Meyer, who's basically God in college football. Yeah. It's like Vince Lombardi in the NFL. So I wouldn't put a whole lot of stock in that. He's going to get control of those players. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if right now he's already settled all that down. Let's look at the weather, though. The weather in Ann Arbor is going to be very clear but really cold. We're talking in the low 20s. So that feels going to be hard. And a lot of you need to look at weather situations in some of these sites. There might be some showers the night before, but I don't know that'll affect anything. But the fact that the game is going to be in the low 20s, I would be looking at that the night before. Let's look at Ohio State. They've been a money burner all year. We've talked about that. They're now 9-1 straight up, 3-7 against the house. That's just terrible. But 3-0 straight up and 2-1 against the number on the road. Ohio State won last year, 42-28, but they did that as a home favorite of 20.5. Did not get the money. J.T. Barrett, I guess, is now the quarterback. One thing about Ohio State, they got plenty of quarterbacks here. Barrett, I think, had some trouble with the booze thing about 2 or 3 weeks ago. He had a game suspension. He's going to start at quarterback. After a 1-game suspension, he's got 9 touchdown passes and 3 interceptions, but he's a horse. He's an athlete, and he can run the ball. How about 71 yards per carry when he takes off with it? Let's look at Michigan. Boy, what a rebirth, right? You can call this the Michigan Renaissance. New coach Harbaugh, but he's everything they wanted so far. I mean, it's only a year, right? For now, things can turn on you. I mean, football fans are worse than women. So this Michigan program, they were 5-6 straight up last year. Now they're 9-2 straight up, 6-5 against the number. That's this year. And that heartbreaking loss to Michigan State has really loomed, to really hurt them as far as their title chances go. They lost the first game, I think, to Utah? Was it Utah? It wasn't a bad game. They just weren't quite together yet. But other than that, they've really played solid football. Michigan coming off a 28-16 win as a road favorite of 4 against Penn State. Pretty much controlled the line of scrimmage in that game. And Michigan is 5-1 straight up and 4-2 against the number at home. So they play well. Senior quarterback. I am about these quarterbacks. Rudock. Is it Rudock? Have I got it right? I'm looking at my name. Okay, thank you. 16 touchdown passes, 9 interceptions, 2,448 yards. Leading running back is Smith with just 621 rushing yards. So they run the ball pretty much by committee. Michigan wins with defense. They rank number 2 in total defense, allowing just 259 total yards a game. That's pretty good numbers here.
Sensational.
So, yeah, their deal has to be to play efficient football. You can't turn it over. The weather isn't going to be the best. It's not going to be snow and rain, but it will be very cold, a little bit of wind out there. The better talent, in my opinion, is with Ohio State. Question is, what's it going to be a frame? Are they going to bounce back? Because I don't think they have a title shot. I don't know what has to – a lot of things would have to happen for them to get back into the Final Four. I don't see that happen. But it's a major game for Harbaugh at home. I mean, this is their big rivalry. He's got this team rolling. But believe it or not, I'm going to go with Urban Meyer in this game if I have to. And it's going to be a short number. It wouldn't surprise me if the game ended maybe around Pick'em, maybe Ohio State +1. But I'm going to go with Urban Meyer to somehow get these guys together and get this thing with the running back cleared up, which he will. Elliott, I can't believe, is that much of an idiot. His deal is to go to the NFL. You don't want to piss off a guy like Urban Meyer. So I think the value's with the dog here with the road team. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game, but I think it will be Ohio State win this game by about 6.
All right, well, this Michigan team, you mentioned one of their losses, Utah. The other one was that crazy game against Michigan State that they should have won with.
It was a fluke, yeah.
The fumble punt, so how big has that turned out to be? Rudock has had a very good season, transferring from Iowa, 16 touchdowns, 9 picks, but the defense that Harbaugh has really got, they've actually had a great defense the last few years. It was overlooked by how bad the offense was, but Harbaugh has made it even better. It is a dominant unit, physical at the line of scrimmage, the way his Stanford and 49er teams were, and they're having a phenomenal season. So, Jeff, things kind of look too good for Michigan here. They're home. It's a revenge spot. They're fired up on the new coach. And maybe Ohio State is down emotionally. How do you see it?
Yeah, the ironic thing is, coming into the season, a lot of people thought Ohio State's biggest problem was what to do with 3 excellent quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And now Jake Rudock, who the only reason he got the starting job is because he didn't have anybody else. He's playing better than any of the Ohio State quarterbacks.
At least he stays out of the bars.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not drinking.
Last 3 of that too. And that's a bonus. The last 3 games, Rudock's completed 70% of his passes for 1,033 yards and 10 TDs. It's really not a good thing for players to criticize the coaches, but I disagree with Sean. I think in this case the guy's absolutely right. This is I don't know what happened. Urban Meyer has turned into Marty Schottenheimer. What's going on there?
Now that's a shot.
There's too much talent. There's too much talent in that team to grind it out.
I agree. I agree with that.
So I don't know what's going on there, but I have a feeling Michigan would probably rather play Ohio State off a win than off a loss, because off a loss
you can ambush them.
Yeah, you just don't know. We're not sure how Ohio State's going to handle this. They might be dissension on the club that might hurt them, or they could be so fired up after losing that it could help them. So that's why this game is so tough here. We know Ohio State can't play in the rain because that was. One of my pet peeves is in football.
Well, this is cold weather.
They can handle cold. They're used to that, but they looked absolutely terrible on Saturday. And one of my pet peeves in football is when you're afraid to throw the ball downfield, and they were. And when that happens, the defense just has one less thing to worry about, and the team on offense usually loses. Ohio State, of course, is dominated. They've already wiped out the John Cooper years. When John Cooper was there, they were 2-10-1 against Michigan. Since then, they're 12-2. But I'll tell you, everything, as you said, everything looks too good right now for Michigan, and that small line, 1 or 2 points. I'll have to lean toward Michigan on this one.
Oh, okay.
Okay. It was cold, a little cool in Columbus on Saturday, and that offense was terrible. Barrett in the game, 9 of 16 passing, 46 yards for the defending champs. That's just mind-boggling how bad they were against a great Michigan State defense. But still, I'll go with a parlay on this game. Okay, I'm going to step
parlay.
Parlay.
Whoa,
Michigan.
Parlay. Nobody ever in this business ever made a living doing parlays.
Today we're going to break the rule, and we're going to
break the rule.
It's a Proline first.
Yeah,
Michigan
first.
and the under there. Right?
Whoa.
Ohio State's offense has been shaky. They've used 2 quarterbacks. Probably should have used 3. Or stuck with Braxton Miller. They couldn't be any worse.
Why not?
And what happened last week was Michigan State stacked the line to take away the run and basically said, go ahead and pass. And as Urban Meyer pointed out, we couldn't do it. So why wouldn't Michigan do the same thing? The thing is, this Michigan defense is tremendously talented. They can stop the run or the pass. So I think they're better than the Spartans. It's a very tough matchup for a Ohio State offense that certainly lacks confidence after that game. The Ohio State defense, I've actually been impressed with them for much of the last year. They got better late last season, and they've been really good this year when Meyer changed some of the coaching staff from a year ago. So here are the numbers. Michigan at home, 7-3 under the total. Ohio State against a winning team, 7-0 under the total. That's how I look at this
So you're
one.
taking over?
45 to no. Now looking at 20 to 17 kind of game.
Yeah.
20 to 16, very defensive game. Michigan in the other. Okay, let's tell you what we have going on for the weekend. Jeff, you had you struggled with college football, but you had a very good college basketball. And one of the blockbusters didn't get there, but those have been on a sizzling 34-15 run as well.
Yeah, it was 7-2 in NBA and college basketball this weekend. So if you go to gym5.com, you're going to get NBA, college basketball, college football, and NFL. Also call the number of your screen, ask for LVSS, and you'll be all set up. But it's going to be, it should be a very, this is one of my favorite weekends of the year on all these rivalry games in college football. So it should be a great week. Just call the number on your screen, ask for LVSS, or go to gym5.com.
All right, Sean, you got a best bet for anybody?
Oh,
Is it too early in the week?
You know what? I'm going to go to Ohio State. Why not?
Oh, he's coming right out.
I'll just come up
Going
with
head
Well,
to
you
head.
already know about the Carolina Panthers. You just stay on them until they lose. But in college football, yeah, I'll take a shot with Ohio State.
I'll go with Stanford.
All right.
Okay, well, I will go with Michigan, Ohio State under 3-0 final in the
How about in double overtime, 3-0?
Could be.
Make it really hard.
Jim Feiss is 2 weeks ago had that game of the year in college football. That was Arkansas State, 59
stole it
to
from
20.
me.
No, I know you had it. Separate looks. And then last week he had Southern Miss as his mismatch game of the year. Got there in a blowout, 56 to 21. Jim has his rivalry game of the year. You can get that at 1-855-846-7426, or just check out jimfeiss.com. All right, that'll do it for the college football edition of Proline. Good luck with the games, everyone.
Turkey.
Turkey, all right. We'll
Gobble,
see you next
gobble,
week,
gobble, gobble.
and we'll all put on 5 pounds.